Yes, good morning. Thank you.
Yep. Glad you support wieners.
All right, we live, boys. Look live.
Somebody left a hat for me.
I love wieners. Yeah, I left that.
Sick. I just got that.
Hell yeah.
There it is.
I knew it.
Anyway.
I fucking knew it.
All right. Where is Drewski?
I think he's frozen.
Bet. Looked like it.
Yeah, something's going on in that part of the country. So like snowing and shit for the first time and who knows how long.
Shit's all fucked up.
Yeah.
All right. So like we had mentioned, we have a little bit of an announcement. We figured we share it with you guys first.
Do you want to wait till we have more people in here?
Yeah, I'm sharing it right now still.
Okay, we can fucking wait. So I'll tell you guys my interesting story. It's kind of gross, but like I had this like spot, it's like right here on my chest, and like 6 months ago, I thought it was a calcium deposit, but I gave it a little squeeze one day, and some ick came out of that motherfucker. Smelled a little bit like a dead body, and it was kind of gross. So squeezed the shit out of it, and like fucking splatter painted my mirror in my bathroom, and then I had to clean that shit for 20 minutes, and then it was kind of like gone. And then a couple months later, it started getting a little bigger again. And so one day I squeezed it again, and I squeezed, and it was just blood. And I like kind of dug in there, and I kind of got a little kernel out of it. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Maybe I got the little seed or whatever the fuck. I don't know. And nope, came back again. And so like 4 days ago, I noticed it. I squeezed the shit out of it. I got a little bit of shit out of it. And then I was like, asked my doctor about it. And I went in and showed my dermatologist guy that, and he's like, well, you know, I can cut it out. It'll be kind of a gnarly scar. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about scars. I got a fucking scar on my eye, on my nose, on my side of my head, my elbow, my back, my knee, my fucking ankle. I'm like, and he's like, okay, well, if it's not real bad, I'm like, it's real bad. It's real gross. Like, I'm afraid that I'm going to be like, doing the wild thing with my wife and some ooze is going to mush on her if she pushes on me, or like, I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? Or like I'm rolling with somebody and all of a sudden they got like fucking looks like jizz, but smells like a dead body on their face. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, my chest thing is oozing, and like fucking gross. I'm not trying to be that fucking guy ever. Yeah. Give my buddy a hug while I'm working on something. And all of a sudden they're like, Bobby's BO. And I was like, he died. No, I can't do it. So he's like, all right, well, let's cut that out of there. So earlier today, he like fucking shot it with the needle, and so he started hacking on that fucking thing. And man, he pulled this thing out, and it was 1.25 inches like tall, and it looked like a brain with a spinal cord on it. It was so gross looking, dude. He was like, oh, I'm really glad I got that out of there. He's like, that was nice. It was just going to keep doing that and getting bigger and bigger. That's how those go. And I was like, yeah.
Okay. What the fuck is it? Would you say what it's called?
It's just a fucking pussy cystic fucking thing,
with a like brain stem.
Well, it had like a little tube that made its way to the skin surface, and so it was way the fuck in there. But yeah, now it's sore as fuck because he was just hacking, and he's got like 3 or 5 stitches in it. I don't know how many I'm gonna take them out. That's pretty gross, but it's out. I don't have the.
Cool. Fuck yeah, I'm glad it's out.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Shit.
No, I didn't have them check that left nut. I had a lovely, very voluptuous built Russian woman inspect my left nut a few months back. That was an interesting process. So yes. And yeah, we did talk about that though. We were having that discussion about, because we were talking about he was like, does that mess with your ears at all? And I was like, it's super low frequency. He's like, oh, so that wouldn't do shit. And I'm like, no, it's fucking great. And I was like, it probably makes my ears stronger, So anyway.
Hey, with the Fusion 360, we should probably post some. I should have I don't know. It's probably gonna take forever to download. It's probably too late.
No way. You're never gonna make it. Yeah, it's way too late for you. Just track what I'm doing and just try to remember the basics. And you can always go back and watch this shit while you have it, right? Any of you guys that are like, I fucking didn't have a chance. I mean, just track what I'm doing. And and try to remember a little bit. And you can always go back and watch the video, or you can even also, after you've watched the motherfucking video and done it on your own, then you can reach out to me. And also, we'll probably do this shit again. I may not be on next week, so I'm probably going to be on the road driving down to Knowledge Fest. I'll be coming down to see you, so maybe I'll do it. I'll do the show while I'm fucking driving if I have good signal, but I won't be able to do this shit next week. But I'll be able to jump on for a bit while I'm driving next week. But the week after that, we'll do this again. I'm happy to do this shit a couple times a month. No problem. Totally down. So before we do the fusion thing, I figure we'll spend 15 or 25, 30 minutes talking about the Gately audio show. That's the big announcement we want to talk about. It will be May 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Well, mainly 3rd and 4th, right, Ray?
Yeah.
It will be at the Cal Expo Fairgrounds. It'll be held at the same time that the Autorama Car Show is happening. And mainly Allison, my wife, Allison Gately, will be taking control of the show. She's done event organizing and all sorts of things in her career, and she's really expressed interest in taking over this. And obviously, I'll be busting my ass to help her in any way I can. So don't you guys be fucking assholes to my wife, or you're dead. but so Josh McDonough, Sacramento. So I already explained some of this to Ben. Ben and I were talking about it. He'll be one of the sponsors, Rootless Audio. So we'll Sky High, and Ben has talked about having people stay at his place. We'll probably let a few people stay at our place. I'm sure Byron will be at our place, but we can. Oh fuck, you guys can pitch a tent in my backyard. It'll be May. It'll be nice in Sacramento. So we'll be having a good fucking time. Also, there's a trailer. And there's very close hotels that are reasonably priced for that event, because the event's not so huge that the hotels are really expensive for the weekend. Most hotels are relatively inexpensive on the weekend.
Lots of options too. So
yeah,
it's a good area.
It's a huge facility. There's also a big, awesome car show going on to be able to check out. And I'm really hoping that some of you guys might remember Autorama in the 2007 to 2016 was huge. Yeah, Santos, definitely. You come on down. You're gonna pitch a tent in my mouth? That is the weird as shit, Hammy. How do you pitch a tent in someone's mouth?
Well, there's a single pole you put up, and the tent is made.
The mouth?
It's like a nice, warm, wet tent. Yeah, so it's going to be a big event. We want everybody to come down. We want to make it back to where I remember it in like 2015, 2016. It was just like you get the whole Pacific Northwest to come down. We'd have obviously California, and then
Vegas
I don't even know. There was guys from
and
Vegas,
then,
Reno, everywhere.
And Thomas O'Brien was one of the loudest dudes one year, like crazy wild, showed up, popped a 160 and blew everybody's mind. I remember that being like a big ass deal. So
Justin Yeo used to come down.
That dude.
That's where that video. Only the OGs are gonna remember this video, but John Work. You guys remember John Work?
Yep.
You know who John Work
yeah.
is?
Yeah, I still talk to him.
Okay, yeah. When Sky High was pulling up to Autorama, I think this was probably 16 or 17, and John Work's filming it, and he's like going crazy because John Robbie's here. He says Raby or
Yep.
John
Rabe.
And then that turned into the whole 8-gauge thing because he tried to get Mickey Dial sent him some 8-gauge, and like it was only red.
And it was like just memes for years.
Oh my god!
Well, there was a song and everything.
Yeah, there was a whole song. I remember making memes where I like
fucking ham
like coils
and shit. Yeah,
and I would put 8-gauge spool photoshopped onto my coil. Be like, I'm upgrading the coils to 8-gauge. They're never gonna blow.
It was a little.
So it will be it'll be Iasca for sure both days, and we're going to invite a few other orgs to also participate and both days. In previous years, it would be open to a few other orgs on Saturday, and then on Sunday it would only be one specific org, and that I think that made Sundays kind of meager, and I think it actually took a little bit away from Saturday as a whole, because some people are like, I want to be there for both days if I'm going to bust my ass that far. I want to be doing something. So
I think we're
So
expanding it by.
could you not even show up on Sunday unless you were competing DB drag?
that may be the case. I don't know. I like nobody was there. Nobody went. Like
I see.
Yeah, so we're trying to make it both
fine
days.
as fuck, right, Ray?
Equal distribution for all the people who are participating, right? All the orgs, everybody gets to compete in both. And what we're also doing is we're adding in sound quality this year too. So I think the preliminary plan is like Saturday would be like 1X for SPL and 3X for SQ. Kind of get SQ out of the way as early as possible, open up the demos, and then Sunday would be, at least for Iasca, we're planning to do the world record event Sunday, make it 3X world record event. And I assume the other orgs probably follow along. But we don't know who's going to actually join up yet. We're going
to talk to them about it. Like we're real early. Like we just nailed this down. Let me see here.
Yeah, we talked about, we figured this out like Friday, and then he's signed a contract since. So it's
we're going to add some orgs. We're not exactly sure what it's going to be, so don't hold us to it. But we're super confident that it'll obviously be
Rain or Shine, yes.
both days, and Rain or Shine, and a couple other orgs that we're happy to have, and we're excited about that. And it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, if you guys need,
I am super confident you'll be able to leave some vehicles overnight. They've done it in the past, I believe, right? They did it last year, right? Ray?
Sorry, I was reading comments.
Sorry. We should be able to leave vehicles overnight from
I don't know that they were. I don't know that
even if I have
was doing that.
Even if I have to pay a security guard overnight.
So I know we were able to leave like the tents for the orgs. Like Doug literally was like leaving his equipment there. I wasn't so brave, and nor did I need to do that because I was only a single day. But I believe, it gets all locked down at night. And I remember in the past, I remember feeling like people left RVs and trailers and stuff there.
Yeah, I'm John, you slept there? Why the fuck? Oh, you'll sleep there. I see what you're saying. Yeah, and then he's all dragging his ass the next day. He's all, my back hurts, my neck, and I'm old as fuck. And no, but
I think you'll have to clarify.
No, it's not that ghetto right there. We'll be all right, dude. You know what's crazy is, man, when I moved to Sac, I was like hella worried about it being ghetto, and like I still haven't been in a neighborhood in Sac that was as shitty as the neighborhood I grew up in Milpitas. I still ain't been anywhere in Sac that is as shitty as Indian Hills apartments in fucking Milpitas. And Indian Hills was like the third shittiest. There was the Pines, and there was Suntree, and there was another one. Actually, it was the fourth sketchiest one on the list. So anyway, but yeah, we'll probably pay a security guard to be out there overnight. Yes, RV camping. Who knows? Maybe it'll be us. Maybe we'll all stay out there. That might be kind of wild. Stephen Dunn, we are currently not going to do the 10 channel. We did the prototype. It was really fun and it worked really well, but I opted for the 8 channel. So the G8 is the 500 by 8 monster. So
nice.
Yeah.
Play with one of those.
Yeah, maybe Casa Grande, that was it. So Casa Grande, Indian Hills, my boy Steve Santos and I grew up in the Bay. So
yeah, Bobby, what's the thing on raffles? I didn't talk to you about it, but I did a raffle through the Iasca tent last year, and it was really a hit. Everybody liked it.
Yeah, I think we'll do a raffle of some sort. We'll probably work that out.
Is that something you want to manage, or because I just did it independently?
We'll have to discuss all of the details of everything with Allie and work all of that out. I don't want to try to map anything out right now, other than other than maybe see if Steve is super interested in being a vendor at the event. I think it would be a lot of fun to have you out there, you and Hamster.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah. I have to look at the schedule at work. May is prime season, so it just depends if it's a tournament weekend or not. If it is a tournament weekend, then I'll have to be there. But if it's not, then I should be able to get a couple days off.
Very cool. Maybe Hamster can come out.
He's on here. I'm sure he would be down either way, whether or not I can or can't. Let's see if I have a picture of that show.
So the 8-channel and the 15K are both available, as well as our new little 800-watt 4-channel. All the new amps are available now. So we will have more details about the event tomorrow. But so yeah, start planning. Start planning for May 2nd, 3rd, 4th to be in Sacramento for the Gately Audio Show. It should be fucking huge. We're gonna have obviously several large-scale Gately builds, lots of fancy shit in all of them. And
do you know, does Autorama have a host hotel set up, or are you guys going to do that?
Yeah, we'll have all that information. We'll post that. We're going to have a whole page on our website that Allie will be working on with Gavin over the next few days. We should be way the hell ahead of the game with that.
Yeah, I think the goal is share the information. Tell everybody everybody who's watching, let them know, it's going to be May 2nd through 4th, primarily the 3rd and 4th.
Look at
be in Sacramento.
Audio, the Gately Audio website, and we're going to be making sure we are putting up shitloads of information on all of our social media, starting right away. As we nail down details, there'll be more and more information, all the hotel stuff and everything else, all the information regarding the RV stuff, camping, and all the pricing and all the different orgs. As soon as we have that information mapped out, which we're going to be making a big push, like we've been really trying to put this together for some time, but we didn't want to announce it or put anything together until we had it nailed down. So now it's ours, and we're going to move forward on that. So it should be really cool.
Oh yeah,
you absolutely can, Short Busser. Yeah. Awesome.
Are you guys? Is it? Do you guys know spectator cost, or like? Are you guys?
We don't have any of that information yet. I don't like. I mean, we have some of it like kind of worked out, but like that'll be like when we're talking possibly next week. Maybe it'll be me and Allie in the truck, and she'll be able to relay all of that if it isn't already obviously listed on the site, or we can bring that up.
I guess more or less what I'm asking is because I didn't phrase it right, but so like take IFO for instance. They have an audio portion, but you just pay to get into IFO and you're into all of it. So is it going to be kind of like that where you just get into Autorama and you're into the whole show?
Yeah. Yes.
And then if you want to compete, it'll be more at the lanes type.
Right. Yeah. But yeah.
I think we're talking about the similar thing, like where maybe there's at least one competition class like tied into it for sure, but then additional is going to be like, you're going to go to each org individually. But that's all like just stuff we have to sort out. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Obviously, like we're on the 3rd day of having our ducks beginning to get in a row. So I just wanted to make sure that all of our guys can start planning, right? And you go, hey, I'm trying to get my shit together for this, and over the next few days, you'll be able to find that information at gatelyaudio.com. You'll see us posting in social media as we make updates to the webpage regarding that. And yeah, it'll be awesome.
If you guys need any help with anything, because obviously I've been running a pretty big show for the last decade-ish. If you need, and like, I don't know, if you have any questions or whatever, just call me, whatever. I have a huge list of all the things I have to do.
Right. Absolutely. Well, we appreciate that. I'm sure there's going to be at some point where we're at least running a few things by you,
because there's always things that come up and you're like, shit, I wish I would have thought about that. But after doing it for so many years, it's like basically almost everything's came up. So my list is almost the same every year to get done. I might add 1 or 2 things every year, but There's definitely a checklist to run a big show. I mean, being with Autorama is going to help a lot because I'm guessing you're going to be under their insurance, and they'll have porta potties and some of the stuff that you'd have to do on your own if it was just yours. But
Right. Yeah. There's a
still
little bit of.
yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
like you have to like sit there and plan yourself through not just the day of the event, but like everything preceding and then following it. Like, oh well, how am I getting my generator there, and how and where do I set up, and like, oh well, I haven't even had people show up yet, and I'm already having a list of things to figure through. And then once they show up, I think about, okay, well, what's the timing here and here and here when they get here? Where are they going? How much is the gate? You know, so it's a huge list. I don't think everybody totally understands how much work that goes into it. So it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
big
And
deal.
it's volunteers or employees, however you want to do it. Like some people just want to help and some people won't help unless you pay them. So
Yep. And then, you know, your responsibility and liability after the event, like what was damaged, what's the insurance look like, what about, you know, trash, like just there's so much. So
yeah.
it's a big deal. So that's why I want to kind of help. So trying to keep involved.
Yeah.
But
So Stephen, the little 4 channel, it's not that little physically. It's a 200 by 4. So, and then the 8 channel is 500 by 8. And all the product information is available at gatelyaudio.com. And I think we're about ready to move on to the Fusion basics lesson, right? So let's get this shindig started here. I am going to present share screen.
and then last thing I'll say too is I'll get the Ayaska page updated. We'll get some info. So I just need to grab some graphics from Mally and get to my peeps.
All right, kids, let's see here. Make sure that you can see okay. So you can see over here that this is an untitled file. So I just, created a new one. So I came in here and I said, new design, right? We're going all the way as basic as we can be, because when the first time I opened Fusion, I got like this far and we were like barbecuing and I was like sipping a glass of wine and I was like kind of, cooking and coming back and like, what the fuck am I doing? And I was lost, man. I didn't even know where to begin. I got really frustrated and drunk and I gave up and didn't fuck with it again for a few months. So I want you guys to have even if you aren't actively going through this with me, I want you to be able to come back and get started and be able to just get a little bit going on it. And then I want to teach a couple advanced things, and we'll get whipping pretty fast. And you guys I'm gonna lose some of you guys, and then we're gonna do a couple cool looking things to give you an idea of how quick you can make something pretty bitchin'. And we'll get more advanced every few weeks when we do this. I'm happy to do this shit frequently because it's kind of fun. Anyway, so I said new design and boom. And now I have this guy here. It's untitled. I want to save it. I'm going to make the name and I'm going to say, we're going to do in here, art.
That's weird. It doesn't show that part of your screen.
It's a different window.
Oh, I was like, because I could see your cursor moving around.
Yeah, it's funny. Okay. So I'm just saving it as quietly loud.
Okay.
See? Okay. Simple enough. And all right. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a sketch. A sketch is like a DXF vector file. And from that, you'll be able to extrude or revolve or loft or create things. And I'll show you some of the different things. So you're going to pick a plane. So I'm going to pick the XY plane here. And bam, and it's going to pivot. So now if you see up here, all of this stuff changed. These are constraints, and these are different functions. Create a rectangle, a circle, a spline. You can mirror something that you've already drawn, center to center slot. I don't use this one very often. I should start playing with that. And then you can obviously put dimensions, and then regular old line, and then an arc. And then there's modifications you can do. And just like look at all of these things so you get an idea of what you're doing when you open the software. But if you don't, you won't be able to use any of this shit if you haven't created anything yet.
What is the part that says solid surface mesh sheet metal plastic? Like
Yeah,
what's all?
we're gonna stay over here in
Yeah,
solid.
that's not part of that. That's not part of it.
Well, yeah, that's different. That is working on if you're working on sheet metal and you want to be able to bend something into shape, and that's more advanced. We'll get there, but that's going to be a few episodes down the way.
So right now you're in the sketch part. That's why it's highlighted.
Yep, that's why. Yeah, that's why we're in sketch.
Okay.
Nicholas Antonio, what don't you see on the website? Are you talking about the 8 channel? I'm pretty confident it's there. You don't see it there? Is it hidden still? I wonder if there's a piece of information that they need or if they need to have that there. But it should be there. I thought I sold one of those. I know we've sold a bunch of the people that were waiting on them, but I thought somebody bought one off the website. We'll make sure that
pop
it's up
off here at around 6:30, guys.
Okay, good deal. Well, yeah.
Now that we got our announcement out.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so we're going to start out, and I'm just going to draw a rectangle. I'm gonna create a pretty simple sealed sub box. Is all I'm going to do right now. Okay, guys. All right. So I'm creating this rectangle. Let's say this here speaker box is going to be 32 inches wide and 14 inches deep. I picked those numbers because simple. Okay. And now, to keep this simple, I'm going to go ahead and finish this sketch. And now I have this rectangle. Now you see here, I'm out of the sketch. And here, down here is the timeline. You're going to have this history across the bottom in here. And this will be full of, here, I'll go over here to one of these fun things. And you can see all of these functions down here, right? And I can like rewind what I've done in this file. Picking up what I'm putting down here, gentlemen?
Yeah, that's dope.
All right, so I could go back here and change everything. Right? I can go in and I go, okay, I'm gonna update this. I'm gonna change the dimensions of this box. I'm gonna do it out of thinner material, and I can change this number in these things, and then it would change the whole entire box. Sometimes it'll break the shit out of it. Usually it doesn't, though. So.
And it'll change every process after that too?
Usually, yes. Okay. Sometimes if you do some really complicated shit, it'll get mad at you and it'll break. So, yeah. Okay, so back to our drawing, okay? So I have our sketch, right? This is just a drawing. But now if I go to extrude, it's automatically going to pick that up because it's the only thing that exists. This is the only time that it will do that. I can unclick it. Normally, if I have multiple places and there's anything built, when I go to extrude, it won't automatically pick up my drawing. It's just smart enough to know. So I'm going to build this box out of what we call 1-inch materials, 0.938, which is 15/16 of an inch thick. This is the 19-layer birch that we build boxes out of. I'm not actually planning to build a box, but I'm going to do it the way that I would if I was building, say, a double 12 sealed double wedge box. This is what I'm shooting for, so that there's a little bit of complexity to it. Okay, so there's our.
Well, where'd you put the number in?
Okay, I'm going to go to edit feature, and you can put it here, or I can put it here. Oh, there's an extra. See, there's a window over here that you guys can't see. So I will make sure I work in the little bar here. Oh, you can't see that little fucker either. So there's a little tiny bar right here, and I'm able to punch that number in. Okay. It's pretty straightforward. Okay.
I wonder why it won't show it on the screen. That's strange.
Because I'm sharing a window. I wonder if I can share.
You can share the screen.
Here, hold on just a sec. Let me see if I can. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right, guys.
All right, bud.
We'll jump back on sometime when we're a little further along.
Sounds good, buddy.
All right.
All right.
Good night.
Talk to you soon.
Okay, now we should be good. All right, Ray, we'll see you. Okie dokie. All right. Just take this over here. Oop. Okay, now I should be able to do that. Let's take a look. There we are. Good looking out, Steve. We're learning. Okay. So nice and simple. We made the bottom of the box. Now, a lot of times I'll come over here, right, and I got these little bars here that my my bodies and my sketches are over here, and I can name these. And I'm going to go ahead and say bottom because I don't want to. Sometimes I'll name my sketches if they're really important, but usually it's pretty easy to figure out what the fuck is what. Sometimes if I get a long way into something and I realize that one of my sketches, like let's say I was like, this sketch right here is really important, I can name that sketch and I, call it baffle. And it's the baffle sketch. It's not, you know what I mean? So anyway. So now I want to create this, trapezoidal shape from the side to put our subwoofers on. So I'm actually going to pick this edge of the box right here. Right? This is the bottom edge. And now this is the base of my design. And I'm going to create a construction line from the center. And there's a bunch of different ways to do this, but this is going to work real good. I want the box to be, 14 inches tall. That's a pretty standard height for a sub box. And I'm going to go ahead.
Which one did you use for that?
I just created a line, and then I go over here, and I made it a construction line. So this little blue box right here is lit up. That's a construction line. You can also make something be a center line. I don't think I've ever even used that. But a construction line won't activate the way an actual solid line will. And I'll show you that solid line in just a moment. So I'm just going to make here, I can actually change that back. There's a line. I'm going to bring it over here. And then I got one more line to do here to here. Now I'm going to use this constraint right here. I'm going to take this midpoint constraint and I'm going to grab this and I'm going to put it right there. And now my box structure is 14 inches tall and this is centered right on that. So my angles will be the same. And I don't have a specific dimension I want this to be. What I want this to be is the dimension of, maybe a specific tool I have, right? So
when you built that top piece, did you start it at the center line and that's why it is equal distance? You didn't have to move it around. Does that make sense?
I centered it here. I'll back up. So I could grab this thing and I can move it around.
Okay.
See, I can fuck with this.
Yeah.
Right. I can make it all kinds of wacky stuff. But if I get it relatively close to where I want it to be, and I can come up here to these constraints and I can do many things with it. But what I want is the middle of this line to land right on that point.
Right.
Okay. So this midpoint constraint, and I grab that line and I go there. I don't want to go to this because then it'll bring it to the middle of the line. But I want to bring it to that. Okay.
Perfect. Yep. I get it. I like that.
Okay. No, I don't have a fancy 3D mouse. I like to use a regular mouse, like a really good gaming mouse. And I haven't bothered to add any particular, even it has a shitload of buttons. I don't really even use any of the buttons. I'm pretty fast and I use the keys on my keyboard a little bit, but I do a lot of stuff just with the mouse and I'm usually pretty fast. So, all right. So I'm going to set the angle here. Right. And I'm going to go, okay, cool. I got a 10-degree angle there or 101-degree angle there, roughly. If I wanted to set that, like, let's say hypothetically, I had a 12.5-degree cutting tool. Then I'm like, cool. I want it to be shaped like that. I have that fucking tool. I can run that on my CNC without having to do anything special. So I go, boop, oh, and there, I really fucked it up. So you can just undo. And what I meant to do is 102.5. There. So I have a 12.5-degree cutter, right? So now I can do a few different things. I could just grab this line command and draw more lines, or I can use this offset and I grab this guy and I just bring this guy in and I'll make it the thickness of my material. So I'm going to go minus, I don't know if you guys can see the minus there. Yeah, you can. Minus 0.938. That's the thickness of my 19 millimeter ply. Okay. So now I have those lines there, but I want this top piece to fasten to my structure the same way as my bottom piece. So I'm going to grab this extend tool, and I'm going to extend this line to there and that line to there. And now I have, if you see here, I can grab this, and I can grab this, and I can grab this, and I can grab this all individually when I'm ready to extrude those parts, which you're going to see now. So now I've created these components. Some of you guys might be a little bit lost, but you're going to be picking up what I'm putting down in just a moment. I'm going to say finish sketch, and now all my create commands have come back up in this top bar up here, right? And we're going to go ahead, we're going to take a look at this thing. So now you see there's my sketch. I can turn that sketch off, or I can turn it on. I can even turn the first sketch on if I want, but I don't need to do that. I'm going to extrude, and I want to make this front and back panels. Right? And I grab this, and here we go. And if I just want to zoom that over there, boom. Now I got to come in here. You guys see over here?
Yeah.
I'm going to bring this little drop down, and I can tell that to join. I can tell it to cut. It's going to get mad at me because there's no target to cut there. I can tell it to intersect. That is nothing to intersect. I can say new body. Now there's my parts. Okay, and they won't become one with that bottom piece. Okay, so we say, okay, there's those two parts, and I should probably name them. There's the back. Now, you don't have to do this. Sometimes you're gonna just remember shit, and a lot of times if something's really simple, I'll just whip right through it and let them be named whatever the fuck they are, and we just cut the parts and build the box. But sometimes I start building some really complex shit, and it's a really good idea to name what it is, because when you're trying to find something, and you got 78 parts of a box, which happens, like so. Okay, I'm going to turn that sketch back on because I got a few more parts to make. I'm going to make this top piece here, this. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to say extrude, grab that. I start bringing this, and if I just come down here to this, just like I did on the other one, it'll be the same dimension. I got to be careful not to join it. If I do, I can go back and edit it and fix it pretty easily, right? And we say new body, and we say, okay, bam, we have our part, and that is the top.
When you do join it, what does it do? It makes the top would be.
It'll make it all. They'll be all one piece.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Now, every once in a while, there's a lot of things that we're designing that are one piece that I'm going to 3D print or something, right?
Okay.
So I'll just be designing, and it'll be like, join. I'm like, that's fine. And I can go in and put some radius fillets or chamfers on the inside to make it structurally strong and kind of work that out later. And that'll be like another lesson that we'll do is like, all right, we're going to make a fucking base knob holder or a voltmeter mount or, a cup holder insert to hold something, right?
Right.
So, okay, so we got our bottom, back, front, and top, and we still have this sketch open because I'm going to make one more part right here. We're going to go negative 0.938. You guys can see me doing that. That's going to be our left side of the box, okay? And it's that same thickness, right? I got to make sure I don't join that all together. I go to new body, all right? Now, before I go naming it, I'm going to turn off this sketch. I'm going to turn off this front piece, and I'm going to duplicate this part right here. I could do all kinds of shit. Like I could, with that same sketch, I could extrude it and make it a two-sided extrude and pull it all the way over to here. And then whatever that dimension is and do the math and minus off all but 0.938 and make the other part. Or I can just simply copy that part, or I could mirror the part. If I set up a construction here, I'll do that. Let's do that. Let's do it that way. I'll do it both ways. I'm going to create a mid plane that I can use. I got this plane, and I'm going to grab this plane, and now I have this mid plane I can work with. You guys see that? That's under construction.
Okay.
You pull it down, and you can make a plane. One of my favorite ones to do is mid plane. You'll start to figure out all the rest of these fun things, and you'll use almost all of this shit. but start off most of the time with just your mid plane. Okay.
That's cool
So
how
now
it
I
gives you a description of what it does.
Yep. And you, I mean, like when you're playing with stuff in here, once you start designing parts, you can be mirroring and piping things and doing all kinds of crazy shit. All right, so now I want to make another one of these over here. I'm going to go mirror. I'm going to grab that. I'm going to go to mirror plane, and I'm going to select that plane, and I'm going to say new body. Okay, bam, there's my other side. Okay.
So you click the left piece, and then where's mirror at? I didn't see that.
Mirror is this guy right here, over here in create. There's a
Okay.
lot of goodies in create. Lots of fun shit in here. This stuff's wild. This stuff's wild. You fucking thread a hole.
That's dope.
It's pretty cool. This is one of my favorites. We're going to do this one today. This is going to be the most advanced thing we do today. It's going to show you how I make like the crazy shaped box faces. Now, instead of just me standing there with a grinder figuring it out, I'm doing that in my head in the software, and I got a couple tricks on how to do it now, and I'm going to teach you guys right now. So we're going to get to the advanced part here pretty fucking quick. You guys are going to have these basics down pretty easy. Now I got to turn off that mid plane, or it's going to be there the whole time I'm designing, and it's going to fucking bug me. If you don't mind leaving them there, go the fuck ahead. So now Drew can come back and watch this shit later. Guys, don't be afraid to go watch old episodes, right? So now we're going to go ahead and let these two sealed, double sealed 12 box share a chamber. I don't even know what the volume of this is. We can guesstimate real quick. I can actually, let's do it. Let's do the math real quick. We're going to measure, and the area right here is 113.852. See here.
Oh, it shows you the area.
Come on. There we are. So 113.852 times 30.125. That's the dimension between those two inside panels. Okay. And we say equals, we're going to have about 2 cubic feet divided by 1728. So almost 2 cubic feet. We're going to have a little bit of subwoofer displacement. We're also going to gain a little bit from the speaker hole cutouts. And so most high performance sealed box 12s will probably be pretty bitching in this general ass box that I'm designing. But here we are. Okay.
You should sell this to one of the viewers if anybody wants this box.
Yeah, for the low price. Our minimum price on any custom box is like $12.60. So yeah, let's see here. All right. So now I wanna put some holes in this, right? This plane here is at an angle, so I have to grab it, and now it'll move the part so that it's in line with me while I design. And
what'd you do there?
what did I do?
Yeah, what exactly did you do there? Go back one step. So you move the part so it's in your face?
It moved it for me, right? So I can. So here's the box, and I'm going to create that sketch, and my sketch is going to be right on that face because I'm going to cut some holes in it, right?
Okay, did you select the face first and
I
then
just select the face? No, I go create sketch. Now here's the thing: is if I grabbed it and then I did create sketch, it would do it for me. So it's your option.
But when you push create sketch, it just automatically grabs that front face. Why didn't it grab why didn't it go somewhere else?
Well, because I grabbed it first.
That's what I'm saying. So you grab the face first.
Yeah, I grabbed it first.
Okay. And then push
look, if I go to sketch, see it's like, okay, which plane?
I don't have it's asking you which plane right now. I see. Okay.
Yeah, I can make one here or there or there.
Okay, I get it. Yep. And then you push that and it gets in. Okay.
And then it's going to shift it so that I'm looking right at it. Now I can still design with it crooked. Sometimes I need to. I got to do this. Don't accidentally have 3D sketch clicked if you're not trying to do a 3D sketch. You will jump right on the fuck yourself wagon and you'll have to undo your shit and you'll be like, what the fuck did I do? And it's kind of sucky because 3D sketches, when you're trying to do 2D sketches, don't fucking work. That's just a note, okay? All right. I'm going to create a couple construction circles. And if I have this circle right here, I'll get a little more straight at us. I can actually bring this circle in, and it'll create its own constraint for me. You see that it's doing a tangent? That's what the tangent constraint icon looks like. You see the little circle with a line that's tangent to it? So now I have this constraint on here. Okay, let me try something here. Let me see if you guys can see better. Best. That's probably best, huh? Okay.
It was
I
okay.
hate the white fucking screen. So I'm going to do my other circle. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to give it that tangent constraint. And then I want to add a couple more. So I'm going to come up here to the
That one's
what?
bigger. That one's bigger than the other one.
Yeah, that's okay. It's going to get fixed in a second. I can tell them to be equal,
Okay.
or I can leave them be, and I can come in here and I can grab this guy and make it tangent. Now they just happen to be equal, but I can also put this guy over here and I can put that guy over there. And now it's like bad fucking boob job. We're not really fans of that. So we're going to undo that. And we'll do some lines here. I'll draw a line. If you see here, see how it kind of grabs for you?
Yeah. That's the center of the circle.
That's the center of the circle. I can start my line in the center of that one. I can bring it over and go to that one.
Okay.
Right. And create the line again. And I can go see how it's got the center of the midpoint of the line.
Yeah.
Okay. And so from the midpoint of that line, I'm going to go to the midpoint of this. And now if I come over here to the horizontal vertical constraint,
That's
now
cool.
now those two circles are centered right where I want them. Okay.
Yep.
And then I'm going to set a dimension on this, and I'm going to go ahead and go, okay, I like that at 14.5 because I'm just eyeballing that of how much I like it. Okay. Now I'm going to draw these circles that are my actual speaker cutout circles, and they're going to be 11.1875. And another circle right here, and I can either type that in or I can just tell it to be equals with that one. You guys get that? Okay,
yeah. Could you have skipped the making the outer circles and just found that center point and then did that?
It wouldn't. I could have. It would have been a little, may or may not have been more of a pain in the ass.
Okay.
A lot of times the best thing to do is just start drawing the shit you want to draw and then sort out what you're doing. A lot of times I go, all right, I'm drawing a baffle and it has 9 fucking subwoofers on it. And I'm like, 9 circles equals, put construction lines around them and then start tangenting things together until I like the layout. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I knew exactly what I was doing, I'm just
like,
I didn't have any idea what I was going to start building with you guys until I sat down here and just started fucking building it, because why the fuck not, right? So.
Yeah. So let's say like if you put this center line, okay, you have the center line going vertically.
Uh-huh.
And then could you basically say like I want a point to the right?
I could totally here. Let me do this.
Left 7 inches, and then just do the circles from there. You could do it either way, technically.
Yeah, I could do it like I go, okay, I'm gonna do construction line, and I can go this midpoint to that midpoint, and I can go this midpoint to there, and then I can draw the circles. I can go here and draw a circle, and here and draw a circle. I can tell them to be equal. I can tell them to be 11 and 3/16 of an inch in diameter, and then I can grab my center points here and I can make them 14.5, and I have the exact same, or I don't have the exact same end results. I need to
you just got to center the 2 circles on that with that middle axis, whatever.
Go like this, like this. Grab that one. I grab that one. I can turn them into construction lines because I may not want them to equal. There you go. Now I have the same thing I had there.
I see.
So like, you know,
There's
you'll whip
two-
through these
There's
things.
all
Yeah,
different ways to do it. Okay.
there's a billion different ways to do it. You're welcome to do it any way you want. You know what I mean?
And,
I just
you usually prefer doing it the circles first. Or do you?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. It depends on what I'm drawing and what direction I'm going. You know what I mean?
Okay.
If I already know, like I can look right at something and see that it's gonna land the way I want it to, you know. But a lot of times I'm like trying to fit, you know, 5 or 6 fucking 8s onto the front of a truck box, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? And I'm trying to fit them all on there, and you know what I mean. That's kind of so. A lot of times, if things are more complex, I'll usually just start making fucking circles that are gonna end up somewhere anyway. And even if I draw lines and drag them over and let them drop, or if I use the constraint tools to put them there, you know. So
Okay.
anyway, this is going to function. I'm going to cut these speaker holes. All right. So I'm coming up here to extrude, and I'm going to select these 2 holes. And I know that the material is just under 1 inch thick, and I'm just going to say -1, and it's going to cut the hole. -1 and enter. And now here we are. We have our simple sealed box, right? Boom, bam. But we may not need to be all done just yet. One thing I want to do is I want to make a face piece that's shaped, right? So because I want to do that fancy part, we're getting more advanced now. Everything that we did, you can absolutely mirror in the drawing. Like you could totally do all of that. The point is that you guys are learning and understanding, and questions like doing it a different way, does that work? Yes, it does. You can do this a million different ways. All I want you guys to be able to do is just open up the shit and start drawing and creating extrusions, and you'll start figuring out all the shit on your own. The rest of what we're doing from about here on out is just confidence. You're going to be like, I know that once I know what I'm doing within just a handful of hours of designing in this, I can design a pretty simple box, and I can cut holes in it, and I can make some really cool shapes. And if I get fucking stuck, I can probably watch some of this video or send Bobby a fucking message, and he might, you know, either jump on a call or just even, you know, show me something very simple in the software to get me past the hurdle.
Do you ever, let's say somebody wants to maximize the space in their trunk or something like that. Do you ever like kind of model their trunk in here and then build into it, or something like that? Like a shape?
We'll scan it with a scan tool.
Okay, but what if you don't have a scanner? Like
then you'll get in there and just start. And I've done that. I'll go in there and I'll draw. You know, I have my little grid papers, and I'll sit there and fucking measure it that wide there and this far in. And if I'm doing something like that, I'll draw. Let me see. So Eddie's. So here, this outside like wireframe shape. This Eddie brought me a component. Let me do this. I'm just gonna change this to a piece of wood so that you have an idea.
Okay.
But Eddie brought me this. Where the fuck is it? Maybe he took it. Okay. Well, anyway, Eddie brought me a piece of wood that looked just like this shape right here. It was this right here, quarter of an inch thick piece of white melamine. And he's like, I have this space, and I can mount at 30 inches wide in that space. The amps and everything can be wider than that, but I need to fit a fucking 300 amp hour battery, 415Ks, and a fucking G8-4000. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I'm just gonna do That. Okay. So I started working on this design. I brought the amp heat sink designs in, and I started making. You're familiar with these, Steve, right?
Yep.
And like the metal brackets that we use to mount our amps. I brought in all of those components. This mounting point will land here. This mounting point will land here. So exactly as you described for this project here. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then eventually, if you are doing this a lot, and get a scanner, make your life easier.
Yeah, and some of the scanners that work pretty effectively are like $1,200, so it's not that big of a deal. All right, so I want to make a couple changes, even though I've already designed this bottom piece. I decided I want this to be coplanar here so that I can make a new face on the front of it. Okay, so I'm gonna just do another sketch right here. Boom. I'm going to project as a construction line this section here. You'll see why in just a moment. So now this line exists here, and I'm going to not make a construction line. Okay. Constrain this guy with a horizontal vertical, or I can either use this, or if it's not, if I was doing it with this one, see this piece made itself parallel. This constraint allowed itself when I drew this line, but let's say it wasn't. Right? And this guy is just this wonky thing. I can come over here and say collinear, and I can grab that line and that guy and make that collinear, and I can grab this line and make that collinear, and now I have what I want.
Okay.
There's several different ways to do that. You're welcome to do it any way you want. The best way to make a cut sheet from there, we can get to that at another point. There is let me see here. So I don't need this. I'm going to finish that sketch. This right here, arrange. This will help you to make a cut sheet. See how it kind of showed you a little cut sheet there? Once we learn how to do that, and that can be a little bit of a pain in the ass, but that'll be a more advanced class that we'll do when we want to do cut sheet stuff. So
this bottom piece where you just added that angle, is it going to make the bottom sheet like have that angle now?
Yep, I have to add that. So I'm going to go to extrude, and I'm going to click this little guy. Give it a little boom. And it may join that bottom piece with the front. I'm going to find out right now. Yes, it did. So I kind of didn't want that.
Don't want that though, right? Or
yeah,
you do
but I have two solutions for that. I can either go back into here, edit the feature, tell this to be a new body, and now my little tiny sliver is a separate piece, but I don't want that either. So I can go here, and I can say combine, and I grab that little piece.
There you go.
And I say, okay, and now that's that. Or
yeah, that's good. There's another one.
Or I can come over here to split body. I grab that body, and I grab this splitting tools, and I'm going to grab the plane that is the inside bottom of that. And now I've split that body.
I see.
Sometimes just because it'll fuck the names all up, you'll do it the other way, right? This will be the baffle. The baffle, what I name the baffle is what the speakers mount to. Now there's easy different ways to assemble a box. I may not assemble a box this way because I'm going to have my screws going right into this little scrawny area. I can definitely get away with it with the material we use and how we build the boxes, but I'm going to go ahead and put a face that comes all the way on this, okay? But we'll get to that in just one moment.
Are you going to make the back of the box the same as the front, or keep the back with that straight?
No, the back will just be this flat piece.
Okay.
So now, so a few different ways to create that that front piece, but what I'm going to do here is I'm going to draw on this plane again. I'm going to project, but I'm not going to make it construction lines. I'm going to go here and here, Let's say okay. I'm gonna go ahead to the center of this circle, and I know that I want this hole to be 13 inches in diameter. Boom. I could draw a line and I can mirror this over if I wanted. If I had several things in this space, I might do that. I might consider that. But because I'm just keeping it simple, I'm just going to draw the other circle. And I can say it's 13, or I can use constraints. Sometimes I can draw something, I can just drag it over and it'll land where I want it to. See what I'm saying? Now, let's say finish. I got to grab all those little sections because I have those lines there, right?
Yeah. And extrude it.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna make this panel a little bit thicker material. I'm gonna make it 1.25 inches thick. I'm gonna make sure I don't join that. I'm gonna make it a new body. All right, that looks pretty cool, right? But it's kind of fucky right here, right?
Yeah.
Let's go back to this split body. This one, splitting tools, top of that box, boom. And then I can look and see what that piece is, and I can remove it. Now everything's shaped how I want it. I don't mind this having this little elevation. If I didn't like it, I could have I could do the same thing I did to create this little wedgie here, and I could draw that, or I could maybe even have grabbed this piece and moved it down there and stuck it on there if I wanted, right?
Yeah.
But simple enough. So this looks pretty cool. But what I want is I want to create the contoured shape that the CNC is going to make for me, okay? So we're going to draw another sketch right on this surface. I'm actually not going to use this part that I created, this body. I'm gonna design other parts that I'm going to create my loft in. And I'll show you that in a minute. Now we're advanced as fuck, so don't try to super duper track what I'm doing here. This is where you're going to, you know, build more confidence. And if you can follow this shit, great, good for you. Then you probably have a little more experience, is my guess, or I'm doing a good job teaching you.
You're doing a good job.
I do a good job.
It's not hard to follow along, honestly. It's all seems fairly intuitive, like, you know.
It is. And I'll tell you, over the years since I started working with Fusion, it's gotten easier. You know, they've added all kinds of cool things. I've figured out a lot of shit. Having my buddy Josh Thede, Harley Designs, who really taught me a lot of this. Him and I talk about all kinds of stuff all the time. And he'll be here drawing something, and I'll be like, "What the fuck did you just do?" And he's like, "Oh, I did, this command." And I'm like, "Oh, that's fucking badass." And then it'll happen the same thing. He'll be like, "What did you just do right there? That was fucking cool," And same with Anthony and now even Tyson. The more people that are working in the software and communicating with each other, especially if I'm designing right here and Anthony's designing right there at the fucking red computer behind me that's going fucking ham, we'll be, I'll scooch over and watch what he's doing for a second and like talk to him about what he's designing. And sometimes he'll have questions for me and he'll be described what he's doing and why. And I'll go, "That was fucking cool. I'm going to do that way from now on," Or sometimes I'll see him doing some really goofy shit and I'll be like, "Oh, you need to learn this command." And he'll be like, "Oh shit." He's like,
Yeah.
All right. So I want this contour to be pretty strong, but I don't want it to be too tight there. And you can see that is, 3.66 inches. I'm going to make this diameter of this 5 inches. That seems pretty good. I might even go a little bigger. I can adjust this dimension. I just double click on it and I'm going to go to 7. That's pretty good. I like that. So you can see I got this like little outside ring and this structure here. I guess it does highlight a little bit in some spots, but it's not highlighting the way it's supposed to, the way it is on my screen in here. So it might make it a little more difficult, but okay. So I'm going to say finish sketch, and I'm going to create this thin piece that is going to be completely, what's going on here? There we are. And I'm going to go minus 0.1 because I only want it to be that thick. You'll see why in a bit. And I'm going to make that a new body. Say okay. And now this part here. So you can see I have this component.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now I'm going to go back to this sketch right here, and I'm going to turn that guy on. I think that's, yeah, good. Now I can turn off this part, because what I'm going to do is, even though there's a lot of shit going on here, I'm going to use this to make my other part that I need, that I'm going to loft between the two, right? Remember, I'm going to create a fucking nifty shape. Sometimes no matter what, especially if you're doing a lot of drill holes, you'll be zooming in and out and back and forth, grabbing parts, right? So anyway, so I'm going to make this 0.1 inch thick. I don't want it to join. I want to make it a new body, and I'm going to say okay. And then I'm going to turn that sketch back off. So the sketches will stay. They're on after you say finish sketch. And then if you do a command using it, it turns itself off. But if you want to turn it back on and you turn it back on, it will stay on. So keep that in mind when you're designing. You might confuse the shit out of yourself if you have a bunch of sketches turned on. You can be grabbing the wrong shit when you're trying to extrude something or move something. Okay. All right. So now I have my little. Let's just go ahead and turn everybody else off except those two, so that we're just focused on these parts that we're going to use to make our face assembly. All right. So we're going to see how well it goes without having to create any sketch. I'm going to go in here to create, and I'm going to go to loft. And see how cool this is going to be. It might work just fine. And lucky me, it's pretty good, but you can see if you guys can see this. There you go. See how it's kind of fucky right there? That's not awesome at all, right? Let me see if I can fix that by grabbing these. Let me try this. Oop. Oh, close. Maybe not quite perfect.
Just grab.
I just changed this right here, right? Okay. There's these like rails,
okay,
or there's merge, right? But I can scooch these little points around. No, that's no bueno. Here, let's grab this one and move it around. Oh yeah, it's pretty good. I like that.
I see.
A little bit of luck, and
if you take that dot, that's hold on. Can you go back the other way?
How about this one? Let me fix this one over here. See this? See this line?
Yeah.
This line is connecting to this dot, and I'm just going to pull this guy around over here, and I'm going to do the same with this one over here.
So that the middle dot that's on the blue, the one to the left of that,
yeah.
If you put that in the center, okay. So yeah, it does do that.
Yep. So we're pretty good. It's not perfect.
I see.
But it's good.
That's
see what happens if I bring this guy a little bit over here. Oh yeah, that's better. Let's do these guys more this way.
Can you add points?
You can. You can add rails, but you have to do it in a design.
Okay.
I'll tell you what. Well, that'll be more advanced shit that we'll do another day. This is going so well, I don't want to fuck it up. Okay.
Yeah. I'm just curious. Like, if you wanted to make it way more detailed, you could.
You can like a lot of times I'll have 23 3D lines that I'll add to that. Let's do this. Let's go new body. Okay. All right. So there's our part right there. It's pretty good. It'll work. Right. Let's go ahead and we'll do a little bit more, and then I'll go back and I'll add those rails like you were asking about. We're getting through this so quickly that there's no reason not to.
Before we get away from this, can you zoom into the part a little bit? Like on this. Okay, so now turn it the other way so you can see. Like, can you change the pitch of, because it almost looks like it goes under the speaker, but it doesn't.
It has a little bit. We're going to see more in just a minute, and that's the way to change that is to add those rails.
I see.
And I'll do that in just a bit. All right, so I got to do my speaker cutouts through this. And having the holes there often will make things a mess, so I like to put them in after. Oh, actually, I need to grab that too. Yeah. Oop. not bad. Let's take a look at we got a part here. What do we got? So that looks pretty cool, right? But let's go ahead and do it again. Only this time we're gonna work a little harder, and that's okay because. So now, this is when we get fucky. Okay, this is where I don't want you guys to jump on the fuck yourself wagons here. Okay, don't go diving into this just yet. So I'm gonna do a sketch, and I'm gonna start it on my little fucking titty shape here, and I got to make this a 3D sketch. Okay.
Every time you start a new sketch, are you pushing like a command on your keyboard and it starts a new one?
No, I usually grab it up here at the top.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure here, let me delete this. Yeah, almost every time I'm going here.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
Usually, because I do a little bit on the keyboard, but a lot of it I do on the mouse, and I've always been a mouse designer. I'm pretty fast. Okay. So.
Yeah, I can't even see the cursor going. You do it so fast. I couldn't tell.
Okay. Woo.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
Boom. Okay. And then I'm coming here. Boom. Now I'm creating that sketch, and I'm making sure that I have a 3D sketch. And now I'm going to look at this thing in like 3D, and I'm going to grab this line, and I got to make sure I'm grabbing this. And look at that. I'm coming right here to this. Boom. Now, again, I'm going to go all the spots where I really want to make it definitive. Now, it's possible to fuck up real bad, so don't. You can come in here and accidentally grab the midpoint that's only 0.05 away, or the bottom here. Or when you're reaching up to here, you can accidentally land on the bottom. So don't do that shit. A lot of times I like to use these lines and zoom in and out a lot. I'm not zooming in and out for you. I'm zooming in and out for me. It's important.
Where are those lines coming from?
I'm drawing them. Oh, this right here?
No, the ones that you just grabbed that's on the side of the middle shape. You said a lot of times
it's in the drawing. Remember when I had my two circles, and then I made the other two circles and I tangented them to it. That's where this arc shape transitions to that arc shape. So it has a little
so it's the center point of those two. Were the two shapes. Okay, I got it.
So yeah. So look, you can accidentally grab the bottom there, and then that rail isn't going to work. It'll tell you to fuck off. So we got to go here. Make sure we grab where it belongs.
So now that point right there and the other point on the left side, can you tell them to like make sure that they land on the same part of like the circle?
I can tell them to be equal, and it should work. Let me try that. I'll try to make all four of them equal because they all should be the same.
God, that makes it so much easier than trying to be like making sure you get it exactly, finding where that point is on that circle and finding it for all four. And
yeah, sometimes I will. If something's pretty complicated, I will split that in half, and then I will design the whole thing. I'll loft it, and then I will mirror it and merge it.
I see.
But it really just depends on, and I'm always learning, right? Like I teach myself new shit all the time. I bet there'll be a point where I'm like, hey guys, I'm going to design in Fusion. I'm going to work on some shit. I have no idea what I'm doing. Let's work on it together. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I am totally down. I'm not afraid to show what I don't know. And you do need to start remembering when you're fucking inverted. All right, let's see if I can do some equals and see if they'll let me do it. So if I say this guy is equal to that guy, and I go this guy is equal to that guy, and that guy is equal to that guy, now all four of those should be identical.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, these ones might fight me a little bit But I can do here. I know how to make them actually work. I'm going to say this one is equal to this one, and this one is equal to that one, and that one. But now, if I go, this guy is this far away from here, and I'll go 8.875 because that seems realistic. They still might be a little bit off from each other.
Well, now did it make all four of them 8.875 away from the edge?
I don't know. Let's take a look. Let's see. No, but I can say it 8.875. I can do all. I can give them all dimensions.
So it did fight you a little bit on those compared to the other ones.
Yeah, but let's see here. Now, if I go like this, what's that dimension? I'll go 1.1875. All right, they're all the same dimension, and they're all pretty close. Let me see if it'll let me move any of them around. That'll be a sign. Yeah, it won't. It's not. It didn't turn them black like it does these ones, but these things aren't really going anywhere. If I move these, they go there. Oh, I see. I can fuck them up a little bit.
Yeah, it doesn't move them all together, huh?
Move them kind of.
Well, it mirrored the bottom two, but not the top two.
Yeah.
Those are two equal signs. So every time you do that, it adds another equal sign, basically to let you know that you've like equaled it twice or something. Or
yeah, like this one is equal to that one and that one's equal to that one and that one. But this one's only equal to that one, and that one's only equal to that one.
I see.
Right?
Yeah.
But like let's say we're like, you know what? Those are pretty goddamn close. I'm gonna be okay. I finished the sketch. We have our sketch and we have our two parts, and I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna create a loft. Boom. I'm gonna grab this. I'm gonna grab here, and then I'm gonna go to this and I'm gonna say rails. Look, you could see it wanted to do something hella fucky, right? It was gonna blow the whole thing up. I'm gonna start grabbing these rails. Rail doesn't touch profiles. What the fuck did I do? What you mean it doesn't touch the profiles? It definitely touches those profiles.
You profiling.
Okay. Oop. Oop. It helps if you make little weird noises. See, as I grab them, it kind of adjusts a little bit. It makes it a little better. I guess you guys can't see it quite as good as I can. All right. We're looking pretty good. All of the parts are highlighted. It's a little more bubbly. Looks good. I'm going to say, okay. And now we're good. We'll go back to this sketch here. And I grab my speaker hole cutouts. I'm just going to say like, -2 because I know that's going to cut deep enough. And then I can turn off this sketch. And I can turn on, not that one. Turn on all these. All right, now we have a bitchin' shaped box face. All right, we're going to go just a little further now. We're keeping it pretty simple, right? This is something like we're going to send this to a customer kind of a thing. This is what your box is going to look like, bro. It's going to be dope. I'm going to go in here to appearance. Oh, that's not appearance, motherfucker. Appearance. And we're going to use the color that I usually use on my boxes when I create the renderings. And I can do like, I can grab all of these over here. These are all the bodies. And I can grab this, drop it on there, and bam, all my parts are now that.
Sweet.
And then when I'm going to render this, I'll save this real quick. Say to render, and then I'll move this thing around a little bit to where I like the lighting. Zoom in on it a bit. And then in canvas render, boom. And we'll just give this thing, you know, I don't know, 30, 40 seconds.
That's fucking cool, dude.
Yeah, it's pretty bitchin' now.
So
Shit's
it
a little
looks
lucky right there, doesn't it?
the top left, like there's a lump.
Yeah, like something's a little strange right there. I'm not sure. I'll have to take a look at that.
It could just be the angle, maybe.
It might be, but all right. There's a good idea of what it looks like in the rendering. Go back to design. Yeah, look at that. We got some wild shit over here. Look at that. What the fuck, yo? Now look, we can just go right back into this and go. Oh, look at that. I missed 2 rails. Boop. Boop. Fixed it.
Okay.
That was wild, huh? Boom.
Yeah.
All done.
Gee.
Not all fucked up anymore.
That's dope, dude. That's fucking dope.
So being able to and let's change it. We decided that you know, that 2 cubic feet isn't quite big enough. It's different 12s that we're going to use. I can go all the way back to the fucking first sketch and go, oh, okay, I want this thing to be, you know, roughly 15% bigger. I'm going to make this thing 16 inches deep. And watch this. It should not blow the whole thing up. Look at that. It's just bigger, except for that it's real thick right there. But that's okay. That's easy to fix too. We come in here and we go 0.938. Should be all polished up now. There we are. We're good. So now it's bigger.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
And let's see if we can arrange these parts like we're going to cut them out for Jerry. It's a little easier than the grinder, but I could grind this shape way fucking faster than my CNC machine. This would probably take me, I don't know, 30 minutes. Now I'd be fucking sweating, but it'd be a hell of a workout. But I would shape the box face this size with a grinder in roughly 30 minutes or so. And I'd be a sweaty motherfucker, but I get it done. Whereas the CNC machine would take about 3.5 hours. Let's see if we can do a little alignment or arrangement. All right, so when you're working on the like one of the XY or XZ or YZ planes, I always say zoom out so that you can get to them. So that you accidentally grab the wrong shit, you grab part of the box, and then it's kind of goofy, and you're like, what did I do? So you guys can't see those very well. That kind of sucks. You can see part of it over the box on the one, but let me try something. There, way fucking better. God damn, we should have been there all along. All right. So I wanna draw a sketch here, and I'm using a piece of fucking plywood. So let's say it's 48 inches wide by 96 inches tall. It's a 4x8. Okay. Now I want to arrange these parts. Okay, so I'm going to go in here, and I want the outside frame to be 1/4 of an inch. So I want my parts to be inside of the outside shape of my 4x8 sheet, right? And then I want my object spacing to be 0.65, just a tiny bit over 5/8 of an inch. Most of the time my cutter's a 1/2 inch, right? So I'm going to select the arrange face, and now I'm going to select the objects, and we'll start with, oh, I have to change these to components first. Sorry, everybody, hold please. So I'm going to come up here to bodies, and I'm going to say create components from bodies. You're really going to want to do this when you're ready to move forward. Now they're down here. Now I can arrange them. Sorry.
When you said your cutter's normally 1/2 inch, you mean like the bit?
Yeah, the bit is a half inch. My main cutter is a half inch.
Okay.
So a lot of times you have to just double check these settings, make sure you're good. You select your plane or your sketch face, and then now we're going to select the objects. I'll grab the top piece, and I got some parts to. Oops. Please. Is that the good one or is that the fucky one? This one.
You want to let
Let
you
me grab that one. I don't want to let me grab that one. I don't know why. What the fuck's the dealio? I must have fucked something up. It's grounded. Here, let me see here. Grounded. I must have done something that caused it to be ungrounded. There we are.
Why'd you ground it, bro?
Why the fuck is what happened to my? Hold on a second here. Something got fucked up. That's strange. I'm not sure what I did, but I did something that made that grounded, which will make it like not activate when I want it to, but I should be good now. All right, so there's all the parts. That's a pretty reasonable layout, but let's say hypothetically you were like, shit, I hate that. I want to have more space at the top of this, piece of material over here. I could do a few different things. One, I can just grab this and move it. Be like, that's good right there. That's fine. Or I might edit my sketch here and go, all right, I'm gonna make this 70 inches and see if that works. Look at that. It's a little better.
And then now I see what you did. Yeah.
So there you go. Anybody have any questions?
I love that. So then now from here, this file could go right into your CNC, basically. Like once you save it as a DFX, once you save this as a DFX or whatever.
No. So what I would do then to this software will actually control my CNC machine. So I would come in here to manufacture and I would set up the thing and it has all the tools in here and I select what tools follow what contours and and use different and like you come in here with the ball end bit, shape that fucking thing, or you rough it with like a dado bit so it's kind of chunky and it progresses. So yeah,
super cool.
So in a couple weeks, right, next week I'll be driving. We'll probably talk a whole lot more about your show and the show that we are heading to when we're on the road next week. Allison and I will be in my truck heading to Knowledge Fest. And we'll be talking a little bit about that. Hopefully you'll come and hang out with us, right, Steve?
Yeah, I got my pass. I'll be there for as much time as I can. And then I was hoping that we could all get together. Brett's in town, obviously. I don't know. Is Sky High guys, are they coming to Knowledge Fest?
Yeah, they're coming. Yeah, they said they'd be there. Mm-hmm.
We should all go Korean barbecue or something. But I know great Mexican place that could seat us all. Like we do something. Maybe even have a barbecue in my house. I mean, I don't really care. Like, but we all should definitely get together, do something.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we'll talk a little bit about what I got going on there, and we'll talk about your show, and then we'll have a lot more information to provide. I'll have Allie with me. I'll probably force her to hold on to the phone and talk a little bit with you guys about the Gately Audio Show. And by then, you and I will probably have communicated a little bit more. We'll also communicate more with some of the potential organizations that'll be doing competition stuff. And we'll have more information about the show, about the Gately Audio Show next week, and obviously a ton more about the showdown. We're really gearing up for that real big. I got a fucking air freighted fucking soft parts and baskets so that I can build. I really, really want to have the Relentless Neo 4s in the ghillie for the showdown. So, Yep.
Definitely going to have one on display, possibly.
I should have at least one on display. Hopefully I have one on display and 9 of them in the fucking ghillie. I should have all the soft parts. The only thing that I have worry about is the coils, because they got ordered fucking 3.5 weeks later than when they were supposed to be ordered, because sometimes shit gets missed. It wasn't me, but that's okay. Sometimes it's me. It's not always somebody else.
And so I'm going to be getting to Laughlin Thursday afternoonish, evening, and then Friday morning, whatever vendors are there. I don't know if you'll be there yet, but anybody who wants to come in and kind of pre-set up or whatever is more than welcome. After I kind of sketch the lot out on the ground, like chalk and stuff where everybody goes, I'm going to play golf. There's a golf course right next to the hotel. So anybody watching, and there's only 25 people left, but I'll say it next week too. Anybody wants to play golf Friday afternoon, maybe we'll get a big group together and have a little fun on the golf course. It doesn't matter if you're good or not. Just drive around, have some beers, hang out. It'll be a good time. So,
yeah, that sounds fun.
Yep,
I'd probably be down for that. I'm
cool,
really very not skilled golfer that I would like to be skilled, but some people have a knack for things.
Yeah,
I don't.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
definitely not fucking gifted at all with the golfing.
But it's fun. We'll make it fun regardless. Even if we just play 9 holes and make it more about having some drinks and shit. It's all good. Cool, man. Right. Well, thanks for the lesson, dude. That made me. I'm gonna finish downloading it right now after we close this.
Yeah. Shoot me any messages if you have any questions. But if you get a little hung up, I would say almost go through something similar to this, and then that way you can kind of like wind back and see what the fuck I did, and then do it. And I'm pretty confident you're gonna get through most of that shit on your own. And I tell you, man, if somebody would have done that for me, like, God, it would have been a hell of a head start. Like, I tell you, like, I went in and I was like, Fusion Basics. I'm like on fucking YouTube, and it's like, so you've already done your sketch, and now you want, and I'm all, what are you fucking talking about? I'm like, I haven't done shit yet. I was like, yeah. So.
Well, in the next couple of weeks, not next week, but the week after, maybe we can make some stuff that would be good for like a 3D printer versus a CNC.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I figured this was a pretty reasonable start. And it'd be a little easier to stay on track with, because it's got kind of like, I made that part and then I made that part and then we got a little more advanced at the end when we did the loft. Thank you so much, Gregory. Appreciate you guys. And absolutely, I'm down to do this shit all the time.
Yeah, this is good practice too for
so I was just fucking with it, and I started realizing what things I wanted where, right? Anthony's tools are lined up way different than mine. Tyson's are different than his. Josh Deedy has his all different. It's going to end up being like what you're using that's going to make.
Oh, I see. So when you download Fusion, the
Yeah.
tools that you had on top, those are going to be organized differently.
Yeah, like so what I should do is I should pin Lofted toolbar. I got all this space over. Oh, here, hold on a second. Sorry. Here, I'm gonna make some changes to my shit. Screen. All right, so you see here, I went in and I added Loft to my create toolbar. Let's see, what else do I use?
Which one's Loft? The one that's under the H of mesh?
Loft.
Oh, okay. So it's just under create. Okay, I see that. I got it.
It's up there. Thicken is kind of fun. That's kind of fun. I don't use many of these very often at all, but I definitely use circular pattern, and I guess I use regular pattern often enough. Oh, it's already up there. Oh, there it is there. I see. So I should probably move this guy over here.
Right back where you were at that screen, it said pin to something.
Pin
That
to
moves it
toolbar.
up. That moves it
Yeah,
up.
so I'm under here, and like, let's say I wanted to, I can fucking pull a drive in. That's kind of cool. I can put any of these I want
up in that
on the toolbar, right?
Gotcha.
Oh, fucking rib is kind of fucking cool. Web.
Was that web or the other one just kind of like make bracing for you almost?
Yeah, I guess so. Creates thin feature from an open sketch profile. I don't know that would be a very useful thing for me to use in my design stuff. I think I've done this rib thing before, but I ended up just designing all the shit myself and making the parts because I have to make them kind of click into what I'm doing. A lot of this stuff's going to apply when you're 3D printing. But a lot of our 3D printers do all the shit we want it to do for us inside of things, right? Taurus coil's kind of fun. I made JL Audio shaped ports that were coiled inside of a fourth order bandpass. That was kind of wild. I made pipe and I drew a 3D sketch and then I used the pipe command and I make wire. You know, when I'm laying out the wire in somebody's build, I don't do that very often when something's really complicated and somebody wants to see a really detailed fucking rendering with their wire and everything in it. Then, yeah. And modify. I should put scale up there. Toolbar, I use that pretty frequently. I still got some space over here. I'm going to fill that shit out, I think. Combine up there. Yeah, I got those two. Split. That's interesting. Line, delete, move. I don't use that quite often enough, I don't think. No, I do that often enough. There you go. So yeah.
Sweet.
All right. Well, shit damn fuck. Thank you guys so much. If you have any questions, reach out. And I'll look forward to seeing you guys next week.
All right, buddy. I look forward
Okay.
to seeing you next week in person.
Yeah. That should be fun.
Hell yeah.
Maybe Wednesday night we can get some dinner when we pull into town after the show or something. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know what time we're leaving. Hopefully we leave fucking early. But we may like work a half day and then drive for fucking 9 hours.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Cool.
All right, guys. Have a great night. Go fix your engine noise. Go download fucking Fusion and
Be nice to people.
yeah, that shit. Be an asshole to somebody too if you want. I don't give a fuck. Do that shit.
Some fucker that deserves it.
All right, kids. Have a good night.
La-
Peace.
bye.